shootings in America and how prevalent it's becoming. I saw a stat late last week that said that there have been more mass shootings than days we've had in this year of 2023. Just put that in perspective.
Welcome to the talk show, where we're kicking it and having fun on inspirational radio. The talk show, kicking it and having fun. So turn your radio up.
Already.
What?
All right. We 7 to midnight. We in this thing. You know what I'm talking about? We in here like we never left. Y'all better get ready for it. Here it come.
We just jumping in there. Jumping in. Shout out to Fishbowl Radio Network.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're just joining us, that's where we got our start at. Well, that ain't exactly where we got our start at. We was in a church steeple.
Yeah. Up in that attic.
Up in that attic.
In the upper room.
That was the upper room. The upper.
Ooh, hi.
It's the truth.
Sonny, what you think about that? Did you
I had fun. It was an adventure.
Climbing up in that attic.
I'm up for a good adventure. I like adventures.
And then I think we ain't have no lights in there, did we, Dion?
No, we did. We had to put the lights in there. Yeah, we did.
So if y'all been listeners with us that long, understand we was doing what we were doing in an unlit attic.
Yes, sir.
At a church. Church service be going on right on the other side of the wall. The praise and worship.
We talking and they praising. Sure enough, we sure was doing it.
That's what we cut our teeth on. It was good times though.
I think so.
Hey, but y'all probably, didn't experience this as much as I did. But in order to go to the restroom, you had to come down out of the top and walk through the sanctuary to the back. To the front of the church. Behind the pulpit is where the restroom was.
Yes, sir. That's the truth.
You had to walk through the service in order to go to the restroom, and sometimes they was getting it in, and I was like, man, this don't feel right. I don't want to be walking through these people's service to go to the restroom, but I gotta go. Look at somebody. I got to go.
You sure had to do it, Dion.
Boy, well, I gotta like side areas though. On the side.
Yeah, but they still saw you.
Sorry. You want ducking behind each one?
Yeah, why you were ducking?
No, man, I had to go. I wasn't trying to.
Did you have a finger up? You have a finger up, Dion?
You had that one finger up.
You had a finger
up. You had that Baptist finger up. What's wrong with you? You don't know how to go to the bathroom.
Ever since this preacher came to our church and talked about that finger, I was like, I ain't doing that.
You let that finger go after that, huh?
Yeah, man. He was like, y'all do that finger, and you know what that means to me? That finger that you putting up is like a middle finger up to me. That's saying, forget what you trying to say. Forget all of what you talking about. I'm going where I'm going. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm not doing that not another time. Because I don't want nobody to feel offended by that. But,
I thought the finger meant excuse me. It's like a quick excuse. Excuse me.
He said, oh, wow. Yeah. Well, hey, that is going to lead into one of our topics today, because eventually we're going to talk about, we talk a lot about relationship with God compared to religion, right? And, the finger in the Baptist church, it depends on what church you go to. Maybe the pastor that you was going to, he didn't understand the protocol, but that finger is supposed to be like, excuse me, you don't see me. Give me one.
Yes, sir. Sheldon, you got it. Excuse me.
It's supposed to make you invisible almost, right?
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Hold up just a second. I'm gonna be right back. Y'all keep it right here. Don't take the praise no higher. Hold it right there. I'm coming right there.
But we're gonna dig in a little deeper into, we say that term a lot, and I thought about it. I was like, we assume that people understand that there's a difference, and that there is, pros and cons to either situation, leaning to either situation. Well, I don't know. I will get to it, but I don't know if there's a con to having a relationship with God. But definitely, I feel like there's some pros and cons to being, really religious and over the fact of having a relationship with God. So we're just gonna talk about it, have that conversation. But we usually start off with like some latest news type things, and I hate it. It's we were talking about this in the green room, but it's really I'm lost for words. Like talking about mass shootings in America and how prevalent it's becoming. I saw a stat late last week that said that there have been more mass shootings than days we've had in this year of 2023. Just put that in perspective. It's probably been 170 some days. We're about 170 some days into the year now. I think it was at that time 194 mass shootings across the United States, and it's honestly shameful. And I think it's shameful more so from the response that we have. It's become such a political conversation that, I feel like we're overlooking the lives that it's affecting. Like my son, who's 14, my youngest son is 14. They had a threat at their school last Friday.
Ooh.
Threat, school shut down, he had to get out early, but all weekend he's been thinking about that. And then the Allen shooting happens, so I know we're in the end times, or we're moving towards the end times, however you want to see it. So, part of me kind of expects this, but to be in this and I'm speaking, I think, a lot to my Christian brothers and sisters, for us to continue to make this more of a political discussion rather than a solution that can at least help, alleviate some of the burden that we're having. I do know that there's evil people out there, and you're not gonna catch all the evil people, but like it's at this point, I feel like we're not even trying. Like there's not even an attempt to make things better. I just feel like we like, oh, there's evil people here. We got I heard another stat. Like each one of us could probably have 100 guns. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but just think about that.
I've been around some people who got a lot of guns. Like that's everybody's got their hobbies. Some people,
right.
Got a lot of motorcycles. Some people got a lot of hats. Some people collect cars. But I know some people that collect guns, and they got a lot. They got gun safes.
Mm-hmm.
Gun safes, like where they got a bunch of rifles in one, they got a bunch of automatic rifles in another one, they got handguns in another one, they got safes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy. It's like, to me, that's like, and it's, again, those people who do that are normally not off their rocker or anything like that. They like that. That's kind of their sport. Like some people whose sport may be bow and arrow. They got a lot of bows and different arrows and stuff that's kind of, goes along with their sport. Some people do frisbee golf. They got stacks of frisbees or whatever. They collect a lot of them because they deal with that a lot. But when you got a lot of guns or whatever, to some, it sends a certain message, but to others, that understand that's just how that is, and you might like to shoot for sport or whatever, that's another thing. But these people that are doing these things, they're not like gun enthusiasts. They are people, with the problem that use a gun as a tool of, dealing with their situation. Are you with me? Right. Is that making sense? Mm-hmm. So it's like, the two are kind of sometimes intertwined because, some of these people that are doing these things may have several guns, but they accumulated those guns with that kind of intention. Whereas these people that are doing it as a sport accumulate their guns, as a way of kind of, I guess relaxing and doing things recreationally. And it's unfortunate, that you have both types that kind of have to coexist or what have you. One is gonna be punished because of what the other does. And that's the way it is so many times when people are doing the right things, they usually get caught up by the people that are doing the wrong things. And, they both got to suffer together. You know what I'm talking about?
Right. But you do agree, and I know we've talked about this on previous shows. Again, unfortunately, since we've experienced such a upswing in this, but you do agree that there should be some type of, regulations around it, like who can get guns. Yeah, I mean, how that process, because just using this Allen situation, for example, and I've heard two sides of the story, and either one of them, to me, if we're doing our due diligence, there may have been some signs here to let us know, this person, at least a flag or something, you know what I mean? Initially when it came out, we heard that he had neo-Nazi ties, white supremacist ties, and that was directly from the police chief that was, talking about it, that they found some of that. He had tattoos on his body that represent those, those sects or whatever. So it became more of a white supremacist thing. And then, the people that he unalived basically were, people of different races. I'm not one of those people to say whole times have changed so much that, nobody should own a gun and we shouldn't have guns and things like that at all. It's just what we're seeing at this point. And it always goes back to there's evil people. I know there's just not more evil people here in America than other countries. But what I do know, what the facts do say is we got more guns and more availability to get guns. Like this guy who obviously has these certain beliefs that can be very divisive, that could be very, and historical data shows, very aggressive towards certain races and things, he can get a gun, right? And I'm not saying it's fair or whatever, or that should be one of the stipulations or anything like that, but, a good percentage of these mass shootings are coming from people who have that ideology. Why isn't there some type of red flag? Why isn't there something that says, you know what, when we mix this with this, we get this? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, but I do know it doesn't seem like we're doing a lot to do it. And then again, it becomes this political thing because shortly after that, a picture was released of the man, and it confused the mess out of me because the picture I saw was a Hispanic man that I was like, surely he's not neo-Nazi, or he doesn't think he's neo-Nazi. Like, what if he is? He's gonna find out real quickly how he's not really a part of that group. Like, I don't care how many tattoos or whatever. But come to find out, the picture that was shared was fake. It, you know, it wasn't even the real person, you know? And, you know, now that I'm Googling through, I found one picture. I'm not even going to pull it up because, again, I haven't been able to validate it's him. But, like, even in that, it's like the media is just trying to, you know, push these narratives, you know, push these different things. And again, lives were lost. And what has happened to date is, especially, and I only can speak for Texas because I live here in Texas, is kind of like, you know, we're going to pray, we're going to, you know, try to console the families, but we're not going to do anything different outside of that to ensure, you know, people are that we have some safety, like that people aren't afraid to go to the mall or afraid to go to school or afraid to go, you know, to a public place without having the concern of someone coming in and you know, unaliving a bunch of people because they feel a certain way or they're in a certain mental state, you know. So
I have a few thoughts around it. As far as gun law, because I think the amendment, the right to bear arms, I don't have a problem with that. I think we don't need assault rifles on the street where you can go in and kill 10 people in 3 seconds. You know what I mean? I don't think we don't need huge assault rifles in the hands of regular common people. Defending yourself, that's fine. You take a 22, you ain't gonna shoot that many people in too many rounds, you know, even if you flip out and go crazy. You know what I mean? Somebody gonna tackle you and get you. But I don't understand about the assault rifles, why you as a regular person would need those, because my sister was telling me she was doing some research, and the assault rifles that they use when they use them in the military, because they were in the jungle, they would use them to spray down the trees and bushes so they could see through it. It was more for that than it was even for seeing people. That's why you could shoot so many rounds so easily. It laid them bushes down like right quick, like so you could see where your enemy was at more than, and now we have them spraying down people and not spraying down jungles. And I think that in the regular hands, I don't think anybody needs assault rifle, like regular hands. Military, that's different. You go into war, hey, you need what you need, because if you go into war, it's everybody's, you and me. War is totally different. War, that's fine. Get the assault rifles, get what you need to get, protect the military, you know, because you train for that, you're in battle, that's what that's for. But why do people need them on the street where they can go somewhere and shoot that many people in that less of time? I have a hard time understanding why we need those on the street. Why are they readily available to, you know, just regular people?
Real quick, I'm sorry, Lasagna. I was going to ask Dion real quick. Is there like to get an AR in Texas, do you have to go through some type of training, or is there? No?
I think you can order online, can't you? Can't you literally order it?
Hey, if you got the money, then you got.
Can't you literally order it? No, I'm serious. Can you order it though? Like, am I correct in saying? Because I heard that one of the shooters, not here, but it's in, you know, over the years with the shooting, that he had it ordered and sent to his house on his mother's credit card or something like that. I just want to make sure that's accurate information.
The gun ranges, they sell guns too, and they'll custom make you one. You know what I'm saying? Based on, you know, kind of what you pick out. You can pick out the different links of the barrel and the stock and everything like that, and you can get the different sights and everything put on it. But they'll put you together one, you know, right there, and you pay them, walk out.
Yeah, because to your point, Sonia, you know, again, I don't see the need, you know, for walking down the street with an AR or a semi-automatic weapon. But if we're going to do that, at least train people on what to do and how to do it and how to do it appropriately. You know what I mean? Like when you go into the military, when you're about to go and fight in a war against someone, someone teaches you how to use a gun. You know what I mean? They teach you how to use the weapon. They teach you how to clean it. They teach you, you know, they show you how to respect that rifle. And, you know, Dion, you said it earlier that there are people who are, you know, gun collectors. You know, I guarantee you those are the people that most likely are probably ex-military or, you know, but they've taken the time to learn their craft and because they're into it, you know? But, to your point, Sonia, like a lot of these people, they're unlearned. They're getting these weapons, and to me, that's just too easy. It's too easy for anybody to just walk in and get a weapon like that and not have anything. I mean, at the very least, I'm like, shouldn't there even be a flag, like a background search or something?
Well, they used to call that mandatory waiting periods.
Yeah, they did.
That was part of some of the old gun laws that we had, and a lot of citizens, got upset. They were like, man, why we got to wait? These people out here, they got their guns now. You know what I'm saying? We need to be able to protect our homes. And they moaned and they groaned. And then they got the lawmakers to change that and lift the mandatory waiting period or what have you. But that was definitely kind of a turning point because, to your point, now it opened up the floodgates and a lot of these people were able to get the stuff easier. But it cut out, some of those background checks and some of those different things that were part of the protocols that you had to wait on. And, now anybody can get it.
Yeah. I know.
Oh yeah, I just had a few thoughts around that, and with our decadence in our society, getting darker and deeper and taking more God out of places, I think that's the root of all of our tragedies. The less God you have, the more trauma is going to be developed. And the more our children are not raised with God and having a foundation, because a lot of our older, they put the word in religious or relationship. They would give us the word and you would know right from wrong. Nowadays, like my sister says, she teach kids, they don't know nothing about the Bible. They never even picked up a Bible. They don't know nothing about Genesis. Like what? Like literally, they may have heard about it, but they don't like know it or like read any scripture. You know what I mean? The Bible's like, oh yeah, my grandma had a Bible. But it's a lot of stuff that they just don't know. And I think when you take the word out, you're going to have increase of a whole lot of debauchery in all kind of areas, not just guns.
And your point, we have a lot more who have mental issues, spiritual issues, don't know. But our fix is let's make sure everybody got a gun. We need more good guys with the gun. After that, so it just. I get the good guy thing to a certain extent, but one, the Bible say that we've all sinned and come short of. So at any given point, one of us good guys could be the bad guy just based off of whatever mindset or thought we can get in. It's just that can't be the only reason. Standard, for people to have guns is right, or for us to have more guns, because we want more good guys to have guns. And I see the conversation, just like with this, the picture was quickly painted, that this person was someone that came across the border illegally and was part of a gang and all of these different things. So now it creates this fear in people that, oh man, there's a bunch of people over from Mexico coming over here trying to attack us. We need to get our guns. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's 100% not true or whatever. I haven't met one, but you know what I mean? It's being painted as a picture like it's all the day, every day. You better have you a gun because somebody gonna come across this border and shoot you otherwise if you don't. And I said this before, and I know this to be true when it comes to politics. It's more about the money. It's more about who's feeding who. And until human lives matter more than how much someone is going to get or seed into someone's campaign. Unfortunately, I think we continue to have this conversation at a higher rate, and that's sad. And again, this is a show that speaks that I want to speak more to Christians and And we should have a higher standard with that. That's not a kingdom principle, that we put money or bills or politics over humanity, over people's lives. We should never do that and call ourselves a Christian. That definitely, to me, doesn't align with God's heart.
Yeah, because he wants us to love our neighbors as ourselves. And it's hard to love them if you shoot them. You know, you love them as yourself. You want to do to other people what you want done to you. He wants us, he shows us in the word. He shows us how to live. He shows us what to do. If whatever you want done to you, that's what you do to other people. If you want to be gunned down, then you gun down. That's what happened to the young man. He gunned them down, he got gunned down. But that's not the principles of the kingdom. And we need kingdom principles in effect. And I believe as Christians, we have to do what we're made to do and what we're called to do so that we can take territories and when I say that, wherever you live, you being who you are sets a standard in that place. It's not even about running around preaching and telling everybody this and that. Your spirit sets a standard where you are. When you're a believer, when you're a praying person, when you doing what you made to do, you are setting a standard where you're at, how you live. And I think sometimes we think it's unrelated. I do whatever I want to do and just slap Christian on top of it, but not knowing that we're feeding something, good or bad. We're feeding something.
Truly, what is God's heart? And if humanity and loving your neighbor and caring about, the less fortunate and protecting women and kids and school students and, people walking in a mall is not something that's priority. If something else is going to be more important than that, then, I really feel like we have to check our heart. And, that's the thing. I think we always got to remember, no matter what side of the aisle you fall on or what group you align with,
Right.
If you have Jesus, if you say he's Lord, then he needs to be Lord of your life more so than your politics, than your proclivities, than your whatever at that point. And that's a fight. That's a tough one, I think. For
We
us.
push too many agendas. The more we pushing God out of people's lives, and it's intentional from the enemy's camp. He's intentional. I want, to make a mockery of God. I want to make a mockery. I want to show him, these people don't love you. The battle is between Satan and God. We just in the middle as a byproduct. We casualties of war, to be honest. He just trying to hurt God by hurting us. To be honest, we ain't even the focal point of the story. It's like, I'm using y'all to get back at the place that I lost. And that's how I'm going to do it, because he loved people and I'm going to get back at him. So he used us to hurt God. That's the bottom line. And we don't need to help him so readily, so easily. Have a standard, have a base, have a baseline for your life. Because when you got guardrails with God, even if you think crazy, because God is in your life and you have a relationship, he's not going to let you do everything crazy you think about. You have guardrails around your life.
Right.
You only can do so much either way because you belong to him and you're a part of him. And once he gets in you, you can't get his seed out of you. And so you're not going to be able to act on everything that you could or would do, because he'll bring you back to yourself. Those he loves, he chasing. Sometimes he'll chasing you out of it. He'll love you out of it. He'll talk you out of it. Because plenty of situations, I done got slapped out, or I done got loved out, or I done got talked out of it. I'm just being honest.
Slapped out.
That sounds like relationship.
Yeah, sometimes that's swift hand of the law. Sometimes that's swift hand of the law. It's like swoosh, swoosh. And sometimes he just lovingly with that voice, or sometimes he just talked me out of, but honestly, human behavior, emotions is real. And you're not going to separate your human life from emotions, but you can get God in it to direct and balance your emotions. And,
going into the next topic, I think that's kind of newsworthy, this week is, Donald Trump, our former president, is back in the news again for a court case. I mean, I think there's like maybe 26 pending or
Welcome to the talk show.